Hello everyone, my name is Daneja Long and I will be doing a brief educational session for a member of my family. My family member is a white non-Hispanic female with two preschool age children and they have a single family household. The initials for them, the mother is KR, the oldest son is KMAR, and then the youngest son is KDAR. So, KR, you are in the sixth Erickson stage of development because you are 25 years old. And this stage of development is called intimacy versus isolation. You are considered to be a young adult. The name is kind of self-explanatory. During this stage, people develop the ability to form intimate relationships. When intimate relationships are not formed during this stage, then isolation or emotional distancing occurs. Intimacy can have different meanings. It could be in a sexual manner, or it could be in a platonic, interpersonal relationship, such as like friends or family. This stage of life is important because humans desire relationships and companionship with others, and there are various benefits of intimacy, including being able to count on others, sharing feelings of happiness, sharing in general, a sense of closeness, and the pleasure of giving and receiving emotional support from others. Isolation, however, can cause harm to individuals mentally and physically. Some examples of this include anxiety, depression, cognitive decline, dementia, hypertension, heart disease, obesity, and a weakened immune system. This makes sense because, as I said before, humans are social creatures. So when we're not forming interpersonal relationships with others, then it can be detrimental to our health. KMAR and KDAR are both preschool age children, 4 and 5 years old, so they are in the initiative versus guilt Erickson stage of development. And during this stage, children like to try new things and may feel guilty if they don't succeed. Children in this stage like to assert their power and control over the world through directing play and other social interactions. They love to explore. It is important for parents to provide support, safety, guidance, and understanding during this time. Again, during this stage, it's between 3 and 5 years old, so they are gaining autonomy over their own body, their own capabilities. They want to try new things. They tend to get into a lot of things, so that's why it's important for parents to just be aware and alert, but also be supportive during this time because this is a normal part of development. I also have some education to provide to KR, the mother, because she's a single mother. And as we know, it's proven that two-parent households fare better than economically, statistically, mentally, physically, better than one-parent households, whether that be mother or father. According to Kim and Kim 2020, single mothers tend to have a lower quality of life compared to mothers who are married. This is even more prevalent when the single mother is of a younger age, has a lower education attainment, and low income. Residential instability, alcohol-related problems, depressive symptoms, increased stress levels, and suicidal ideation are all issues that are negatively associated with the quality of life of single mothers. This makes sense because especially those that are like teen pregnancies and things like that, they're not even fully developed physically or mentally. So to be bearing a child and bring another child into the world, of course, it can be detrimental to their health. They most likely don't have this higher education attainment because they are younger. So they might not be able to get jobs that can support them and a child. There are interventions and steps that can be taken to combat these issues. These include joining a support group for single mothers, engaging in effective coping and stress techniques such as deep breathing, taking walks outdoors, listening to calming music, taking time out for yourself to just do things, get your nails done, get your hair done, group counseling, etc. And these are just a few. And of course, this isn't going to just, these things aren't going to wipe away all the problems of single motherhood, but it can help. There were a few disease processes that are prevalent in this family that include epilepsy, obesity, hypertension, and COPD. I will go into detail about what these diseases are, some causes of them, and some interventions and ways to treat. So epilepsy is something that KMAR suffers with, and he's been dealing with this since he was about 2 years old. I was actually there when he had his first episode. It's a chronic disease of the brain characterized by persistent predisposition to generate seizures unprovoked by any immediate central nervous system insult. The prevalence and incidence of epilepsy is higher in men, and he is a male. And focal seizures are more common than generalized seizures, both in men and women. Seizures can be frightening for not only the individual experiencing them, but also for parents and caregivers, family members, and those who may witness them happening. Because again, it's out of anyone's control. There might be certain triggers or like an aura before, but for the most part, it just happens and no one knows why. It's important for individuals, parents, teachers, and loved ones to be knowledgeable on what to do in the event that a seizure occurs. Hazards and threats to safety should be removed, and the individual should be lied down softly and placed on their side. A common misconception for people who have seizures is that you should put a spoon or a tongue blade in their mouth to stop them from swallowing their tongue or choking. And this has been proven to actually be wrong. It can actually cause aspiration or choking in an individual. You should not put anything in their mouth. You should just lie them on their side. Also, once this is done, call 911 immediately. KR is pretty knowledgeable on these things because her son has been dealing with this for some years now, and she has actually joined a support group for parents of children diagnosed with epilepsy. Obesity is another disease process in the family. This is very common all throughout the United States because we have access to many unhealthy foods, fast food restaurants, etc. And she said she would like to be educated on ways to eat healthier and lose weight. Again, obesity can be due to unhealthy food choices such as fast food restaurants. We know it's like you can go outside and you see a fast food restaurant on every corner. That's just how it is in this country, and it makes it easy to get into unhealthy eating habits, sedentary lifestyle, not getting any physical activities, lying around, overeating, genetic factors, stress, and certain medications can even cause obesity. One example is steroids because they cause you to gain weight. And it also raises glucose levels in the body. Ways to combat obesity are to engage in regular physical activity, eat fresh fruits, vegetables, and grains, get adequate sleep, avoid processed foods, manage stress, seek guidance from a healthcare professional, dietary counseling, and in some cases, medication or surgery. Healthy foods that you and your family can consume include fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, seeds, legumes, yogurt, salmon, eggs, and dark chocolate. So just getting outside and exercising for 60 to 90 minutes a day. It don't have to be anything vigorous. You can walk. do some aerobic exercises, just something to keep yourself active, not just being stagnant, staying in the same place, not moving, because that can be easier to lead to obesity. Managing stress, sometimes when we get stressed, we might overeat, not getting enough sleep. A lot of people don't realize that when we don't get enough sleep, it has a lot of negative effects on our health in different areas. Processed foods, they just have so much sodium, and it's just not healthy for you. And then the foods we eat are definitely important. Hypertension, which is high blood pressure, is another disease process in the family. There can be many things that lead to hypertension, such as stress, heart disease, obesity, other comorbidities, unhealthy diet, smoking, physical inactivity, and excessive alcohol consumption. It can be treated with medication, exercise, cessation of smoking and alcohol, eating a healthy, balanced diet, and effectively managing stress. A lot of different, as I said before, a lot of different things can lead to high blood pressure. Smoking, it just messes up the structure of our blood vessels and our heart, lungs. It's just not healthy for us. Excessive alcohol is another one. Comorbidities, if you're not familiar with that term, it means that someone has more than one condition. Like, for instance, if they were to have asthma and then have hypertension, that is a comorbidity because they have more than one condition. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease is another disease process in this family. Is commonly known as COPD. And COPD is primarily caused by long-term exposure to lung irritants such as cigarette smoking. But there are other factors that can lead to COPD, which include secondhand smoke, air pollution, occupational dust and fumes, repeated respiratory infections, older age, and genetics. So we all know that cigarette smoking is really bad. It's very preventable, but it leads to so many different negative health outcomes for people. And it's legal just like alcohol. In my opinion, it should be like illegal just like heroin or cocaine and stuff like that, because it is. I'm gonna have to call you back. You just interrupt my video. I love you too. I'm so sorry. I was saying that, oh yeah, I feel like in my opinion it should be illegal just like any other substance, because it might not be as harmful right then and there, but over time it leads to so many different things, so many different health conditions that people are living with, and they have to live with them for the rest of their life. But it's legal. And it says secondhand smoke, so you don't even have to be smoking, and you're still getting COPD from other people smoking. So that's why it's important for us not to be in houses, cars, environments where there's smoke going on. And sometimes it's unavoidable, but it's still bad. And I just had a few educational things I wanted to say to KR, because she is a single mother, and a lot of the responsibilities of child rearing and transportation, taking them to school, falls on herself. So I was just thinking that I should give some suggestions so we could come up with a plan together. And you can do this with me, KR, or you can do it with someone else that you trust, or in a healthcare professional. And this is just about things, just thinking about things that you would do just in case something were to happen to you. Do you have anyone that will be able to take care of your children if you weren't here? Or even things that aren't as permanent, like what if something were to happen to your car? How are you getting to work, and how are your children getting to school? How are you getting to the grocery store and things like that? So if we could develop a plan together, I think that would be great. And just so you could be prepared and have a plan in place if these things were to happen, because life is unexpected as we know it. But thank you all.